Velasquez, peace and blessings. Now, this supposedly is the chart of the Prophet Muhammad. What I'm about to do today is I'm about to go through this chart right quick, you feel me? I'm going to get through the basics of the chart, and I'm going to see if these placements align with the actual physical documented life experience of the Prophet, right? Peace and blessings be upon him. God damn it. But yeah, get into it. So yeah, he got exalted. Fifth Lord is in the ascendant. You feel me? That definitely is a good reflection of his reputation, right? The nigga was well respected, had a high level of commandability, real pious, real righteous. You feel me? He was a leader. He also was like a religious governor of his particular time. He was a bringer of the law, and was leading by example, showing people how to uplift themselves and walk the righteous way, if you want to call it that, right? And that's definitely all showcased by the Fifth Lord in the Ascendants, you feel me? Powerfully so. So, in a way, this could probably be his chart. Another factor, he has Venus, Rahu conjunct in the second house of Taurus. Venus is also the seventh lord, second lord, conjunct in the second house with Rahu, right? So, this is going to naturally give a person a great deal of access to finance and pleasurable experience. Now, one way that this aligns with this actual life experience, the Prophet's wife is how he got his wealth. So, he married into her family. I believe it was his first wife. You feel me? He married her. Her family was wealthy and shit. Her family was rich and royal or whatever the fuck. And when he married them, he married into the wealth. You feel me? So he married into the surplus. He married into the excess. He married into the gains and whatnot. And that can definitely be reflected by the seventh lord, Venus, being with Rahu in the second, right? Another thing, Venus being conjunct Rahu, Venus and Rahu can show that especially in the second house of Taurus, the nigga was greedy for pussy. The nigga was definitely punching dick on a routine basis, you feel me? Like outside of God, outside of all the goddamn the salats and the shaloms and the, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? Outside of all the goddamn, putting the water in your nose and all that, wiping your ass with a rock or whatever the fuck them niggas was doing back then. The nigga definitely was fucking them hoes, you feel me? And I read a little bit of the Bukhari, the al-Bukhari, and they have like certain scriptures to where it would say the Prophet would, they describe him as having the strength of like 30 niggas when it come to punching dick and hoes. Now, I don't know exactly why the fuck them niggas would, I don't know what the fuck that got to do with God or why they would put that in that book, but that's what the niggas chose to put in there, you feel me? I'm just merely mentioning this shit for the sake of astrology, right? That's all I'm doing right now, but it can definitely showcase that the nigga had an extreme level of lust, you feel me, a voracious level of sexual expression. Not only that, the Venus and Rahu can also showcase a nigga having weird desires. Now, off top, the Prophet had a problem understanding that age is more than a calculation. Age is more than an equation, right? We're not gonna get into the age of, his wives, or if it was a different culture back then. I don't want to get into all that, you feel me? I don't want the Arabic niggas coming on here, oh, you misinterpreting the scripture, you feel me? I ain't trying to get blew up by no small or no medium hat niggas. I ain't trying to, you feel me? The shit's wrong by default, you feel me? And I ain't gonna lie, that's one of the things that made me back away from Islam, but I'm not here for the debate. I'm here for the fucking astrology to showcase and document, you know what I'm saying, what's taking place within a chart. So yeah, weird desires, you know what I'm saying? The nigga definitely had a weird desire on that standpoint. Not only that, it's even a fucking story. And you Arabic niggas know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's a wild ass story about the Prophet Muhammad going to the desert with a disciple. He went to the desert with the disciple. He drew a line. He drew a line in the sand. He told the disciple to not cross this particular line. The prophet went off in the distance, and for some reason, 4 or 5 niggas mounted him in the distance. This is how it's described in the Arabic. They mounted him all night long in the fucking distance. Now, my black ass mind is not necessarily trying to calculate the exactitude of this experience, you feel me? But that definitely sounds like some Diddy shit, you hear me? And I ain't gonna lie, with this particular conjunction, it can showcase that the nigga definitely has some weird sexual expressions about himself. Could I say the prophet was getting hit from the back? That's spiritually fucking crazy. Never would I blaspheme against the holy prophet in such a way, nigga. I am not trying to get set on fire by either one of you small hat niggas or medium hat niggas, rather. You feel me? I'm definitely not trying to go down that route. That's some crazy shit to say, but I'm not gonna lie. Y'all niggas gonna have to clear that story up. Y'all gonna really have to define that Arabic more clearly. I'm sorry. Yeah, cause that nigga, that's fucking crazy. And not only that, after the story, supposedly, after he got mounted all night long, he went back to the disciple and he laid his head on the nigga lap. After I heard this shit is really when I stopped fucking with Islam, I ain't gonna lie. I was so rooted too, nigga. I was strongly in that shit, nigga. It wasn't no nigga in the universe stronger than the Prophet Muhammad, I promise you. Until I started hearing this shit or whatever, but moving on. He has K2, Saturn, Jupiter, all in Vishaka. Saturn and K2 being in the 8th house. Now, this was definitely a yogi. This was definitely an ascetic or however you say it. This was definitely a spiritual seeker of truth and an embodiment of truth, you feel me, in certain ways or whatnot. And being in Vishaka, it deals with Vishaka will make someone either a dark ass nigga, a demonic ass nigga, or Vishaka will make somebody who is a fighter of the dark, which is usually a religious person, you feel me, a seriously religious individual, you feel me. And Islam is a serious stand on business type of religion, you feel me? Serious, ritualistic, stand on business, no bullshit type of religion, right? And Vishaka will make a person a very much so adept and powerful spiritual seeker as well. So he definitely was a yogi of his own kind. You gotta think about it. For people to be formulating religions around certain characters, these characters had to have been powerful in some way, shape, or form. Niggas not just pulling this shit out their ass, you feel me? Like the Buddha, you know, an actual nigga, which the Buddha really didn't come up with a new teaching. He really was just telling the Veda that was already there, just through his own lens. But what made the Buddha so powerful, or what made his teaching last so long, was his character and his individual light, which is nothing wrong with it. And I guess the same could be said for the Prophet Muhammad in a way, outside of the backdoorian possibility of him getting hit from the back by niggas in the desert, right? And it's like, how could that even mix? Like, how could those qualities even mix? Like, nigga, how you doing yoga? Nigga, like, how you doing splits for God and and outside of that, you getting your shit split, nigga? Like, that's crazy. Like, how can you do both? You know, the Rahu Ketu axis, it can show like a form of split or psychosis within the psyche. It can show like, it's like a seesaw. Opposite ends of the spectrum, up and down, wavering. 1 minute you're on this point, you know, you might be on one point for too long, and it might swing up on the other side or whatnot. So the Rahu Ketu is kind of like that. So in a lot of ways, a person can embody both extremes of the spectrum in a way, if that makes sense. So I'm not saying, again, that the nigga was backdooring. I really hope he wasn't, you know, because I really hope that Islam is the shit that they say it is, but it might not be, in all honesty, from that Rahu and Venus placement, you know? But it could be a lie though. Like the nigga could have just he could have just fucked a lot of hoes. That's all it could be, for real, for real. It don't gotta be the other shit and nothing like that. But last but not least, he got his Mercury in the 12th house. The Mercury is wounded. They say he couldn't read. He was illegible. He wasn't an educated nigga from, a scholarly, worldly standpoint. But he could recite the Quran with a perfect, forget the word I'm looking for.